Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Joe Pometto Law Show. Today, we're going to take a look at a news clip of some Moorish sovereign citizens over in the Philadelphia area who squatted a house for several months. And I'm going to have an interesting legal opinion on what these sovereign citizens did. So stick around until the end. If you like my content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. That's a free way to support the show. I've also got a Patreon and a PayPal. This show will always remain free. However, a couple of dollars a donation helps me to free up more time to make more videos. There's a bunch of stuff I want to do, so any help is truly appreciated. Now, before we watch this news clip of the Moorish sovereign citizens, everyone, let's do a same time sip with me. And since you caught me in the morning, I'm drinking coffee. This is my number one favorite beverage. I know I drink Diet Coke. Coffee is number one. Let me know how you like your coffee, whether you like it with cream and sugar, or whether you drink it black like a savage. Now enjoy this video.
Two members of an anti-government group at a house in Upper Darby. Members of this group believe that they live beyond the authority of the state and federal governments. Action News reporter Dan Quayer is live at 36 North Harvard Avenue in Upper Darby. Dan, what are the details on this?
Well, Jim, the two members of the purported sovereign group have been arrested and charged with risking a catastrophe. Police say they summoned their supporters from across the region to come out and prevent sheriff's deputies from evicting them. Authorities, trying to avoid another MOVE organization type incident, decided to wait it out until things cooled down.
This group is totally anti-government in any way, shape, or form.
Arrested and charged in connection with the case are 41-year-old DeCorey Pitts and 43-year-old Sharon Gale, also known as Sharon Tracy Gale Bay. They purport to be leaders of the Moorish sovereigns, called Moors, who preached a radical ideology.
They're very violent. They're anti-government. They don't believe in anything that the government has to say.
Authorities say when they defaulted on their mortgage, the sheriff's office issued an eviction notice. Authorities say that's when the two used social media to urge their supporters from across the tri-state area to come out and prevent deputies from entering the house. 40 to 50 people showed up. Superintendent Mike Chitwood had visions of what happened with the MOVE organization in Philadelphia back in the 80s. He did not want a repeat of that and urged law officers to wait.
I was very concerned. I was concerned about the safety for everybody, the neighborhood, the officers.
They waited for 2 months until only the two suspects and their 3 children were in the home. They raided the place without incident at the crack of dawn Monday. Chitwood says you wouldn't believe what the woman told SWAT officers.
You're all under arrest and I'm making a citizen's arrest.
She said what?
She said, I'm making a citizen's arrest, so you're all under arrest. So needless to say, she got locked up. We didn't get locked up.
Inside the home, they found a pistol-grip 12-gauge shotgun. They also found a generator hooked up to a slew of car batteries that were daisy-chained together, hooked up to a heater on a propane tank. This, apparently, to generate heat and electricity. A hookup, Chitwood says, could have blown the neighborhood sky high. Neighbors' reaction? How do you feel now that you're hearing about it?
Oh, I'm not happy. I'm definitely not happy.
Did they seem like nice people to you, or not?
I'm not sure. We never have any conversation with them.
Okay.
Only except when you are going hello, hello, that's it.
Now, both have been charged with risking a catastrophe, recklessly endangering another person, and endangering the welfare of children. The children have now been placed with other relatives. The two people charged have a preliminary hearing set for April the 3rd. We're live here in Upper Darby. I'm Dan Quayer, Channel 6, Action News.
Okay, well, I hope everyone enjoyed that little news clip. What we had here is two Moorish sovereign citizens out in Philadelphia who had a mortgage on their house, and then they just stayed in the property after they lapsed on the mortgage. In legal terms and likely layman's terms, we call these types of people squatters. Sovereign citizen or not, frankly, people tend to do this thing all the time, all over the country. I'm not sure if many of my viewers are aware of a legal concept called adverse possession. when I first went to law school and I started learning about adverse possession, I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Basically, what it says is you can claim property, land that is not your own if you possess it for a certain period of time and no one interrupts your rights. Now, I'm not saying that these squatters with the mortgage could have done that, because you have a mortgage, there's a foreclosure, and then the house goes to the bank. So ownership is almost always still actively involved in the property. However, an example of adverse possession is when there's two pieces of land next to each other. All right, let's say two farmers, and this one farmer has a little strip of land, okay, that he never uses and he never touches, and the other farmer begins to cultivate that land so that it almost becomes a part of his own field. If that goes on long enough, farmer number two can then claim under title of law. That's a good sovereign citizen word right there, but it has real meaning. Under title of law, that property is his because he cultivated it for a number of years with no interruption in his use of the land. Now, I can't remember what Pennsylvania's statute is, but we're usually talking 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If it goes on for that long, you can claim land that is not your own. Now, again, these sovereign citizens, they never even got close to that, but that's kind of the legal, an actual legal principle here is if you control and own and possess property for a long enough time, it becomes yours. Very difficult to do on property with a mortgage like that. But I just thought it was a funny little aside to what was happening here. So these sovereigns, the police knew what was going on. The police were going to come and I guess try to remove these individuals from the property. And they had a crew of about 30 or 40 people show up. The police, sounds like they did the right thing. They de-escalated and they waited. They waited this crew out, and a couple of months later, they went in and arrested everybody. And that's the thing when you're messing with the police, is that time is generally going to be on their side. I mean, they have forever. They can wake up every day. They can switch shifts. Okay, they can wait you out, and so it can be very, very difficult to resist in that type of situation, and often in vain. A couple funny parts of this story is they had this makeshift generator built with car batteries. Dangerous, weird, but also inventive. And they also, when the police came in, the sovereign citizens arrested the police, which was pretty funny. But keep in mind, citizens actually can arrest people in certain situations, and it's possible that if a police officer was breaking the law, that a citizen could do a citizen's arrest on the police officer, but that just wasn't the case here. So I know this is a couple of months old. They also referenced, some incident that happened in Philadelphia in the 70s or 80s, the Move On incident. I'm going to look that up and see. I don't know what that was. I'm going to look that up and maybe do an episode on it. Another interesting thing was what the police charged them with here. They charged them with risking a catastrophe, recklessly endangering another person, and endangering the welfare of a child. So recklessly endangering another person and endangering welfare of the child are pretty routine types of charges. So anytime, if you commit a crime and there's a child around, you're going to get hit with that. We call it an EWOC, endangering welfare of the child. This is out in Philly, same charge. REAP could be driving drunk, getting in an accident with an individual sitting in the car with you. REAP, recklessly endangering another person, can happen in a whole slew of different ways. But I have never seen risking a catastrophe charged. I've never seen risking a catastrophe. I guess if you draw a large crowd together, that's, for inappropriate purposes, you could be risking a catastrophe because people could go wild. The madness of crowds can take over. that's something else I may look into for a future video. But that was just, I always I always get a little smile inside when I see new criminal charges that I've never heard before. That's an interesting one. It's kind of along the lines of maybe arson and terrorism. I'm assuming it's a felony. I don't know. I wonder if there's a misdemeanor grading of it. So I hope everyone enjoyed this show. It's an oldie, it's a news clip, but I thought it was interesting. I'm going to have another sip of coffee here. Do the same time sip with me. I use cream and sugar, but sometimes I do drink it black like a savage. It just depends on the coffee and how good it is. Thanks for tuning in.